Just for CJ. Oh.
Is that the intro?
G'day guys, and welcome back to Millionaire by 50. In today's video, we're going to be looking into the second part of The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape. Now, so far, we've been on a pretty big journey. So we set up our Barefoot date nights, 5 of which we've already completed. So we're going to move that from weekly to monthly. Congratulate yourself. After that, we set up a competitive bank account. We set up a competitive superannuation account, and then we also looked after our insurance, which was mostly to do with our superannuation as well. Following setting up these 3 things, we then looked into the bank accounts that we had set up, and we set up automatic payments between them. So using a default formula, it was 60% of your total income went towards your daily expenses, 10% went towards an account we called Splurge, 10% went to an account we called Smile, and then 20% went to an account we called Fire Extinguisher. The last thing we did is we used that Fire Extinguisher account to set out the financial fire that was our debts. So now, watching this, my fingers are crossed we should all be debt free, because if so, we are ready for the next section of his book, which is the grow section.
So I say, let it grow.
And as you can see, I myself, I've grown as an individual. I've got facial hair now. In this section of the book, we're going to jump straight into what is probably the most mature thing you're going to hear all day, and that is step 4, which is buying your own home. Before we jump into buying your own house, Scott does preface that with a chapter called How to Double Your Income. And really the key takeaways from this chapter is either try very hard on your performance review, or turn your passion into a profitable business. Turn a profit from your passion. Right now, this is followable advice, because no matter how hard you try on your performance review, if your company goes under due to poor management, you're not exactly going to, that's outside your control, right? And me personally, when I've live streamed me playing Skyrim every night, that hasn't been as profitable to me on Twitch. What the f*** my armor rating on this anyway? Oh, no. So, I don't know, it's followable advice, right? And I think a lot of analogies in the chapters are kind of along these veins. It could work, but it also couldn't. So if you're wanting to read through those analogies and read through those stories and read through those questions and answers, you're gonna have to pick up that book yourself. Really, there's not a lot of in-depth information, step-by-step stuff to take from this chapter. The real takeaway from this chapter is you're going to want to save a 20% deposit here in Australia for your first home. And the reason behind that 20% deposit for your first home here in Australia is by doing that, you will not incur lender's mortgage insurance. So lender's mortgage insurance, or LMI, is basically insurance that the bank takes out against you because they're doubtful that you'll be able to fully pay your mortgage. Now, what that essentially means for you though is when you take out your mortgage, which is already a massive debt to take out, right? On top of that, you're going to be paying this extra amount, which ends up being a lot, okay? So bare bones advice from this chapter is basically use that Fire Extinguisher account, the same account that we used to pay off all of our debts. We're going to now use that account to save up for a deposit for our house. So 20% of whatever house that you're looking at, right? 20% of that total house figure. So the 5th step that we're looking...
If you think someone may be having a stroke, think fast.
At now is to increase your superannuation contributions from 9.5% to 15%. There's not a lot to say about this section. Again, that step is pretty straightforward. The reason why we're doing that is because we're putting more money away for retirement. Scott Pape does talk a lot about investing in this section, but as we're going to be looking into investing from the Robert Kiyosaki perspective, I'm not going to brush on that too much. I mean, we're going to go into everything to do with investing. We're going to be like deep diving into stocks, finding out definitions, formulas and stuff. So Scott Pape doesn't do that, and for good reason. It's not complicated the way he puts it, which is good. So we're going to glaze over it. If you pick up the book, it's definitely got some interesting points in there for you. For those of you that are sort of savvy with investing already, I will say this: Scott Pape tends to lean more towards LICs and index funds. So you can see that yourself if you pick up the book, and also get some advice from Scott if you're wanting to go down that avenue of investing. The last step from this section of the book is to increase your mojo to 3 months. So when we set up the Mojo account originally, we would have set it up supposedly with $2,000. That's what you were meant to do. If you have set up your account with $2,000, what you're wanting to do now that you have got a deposit for your house, now that you have increased your superannuation contributions to 15%, you're now wanting to increase the balance of your Mojo account to an approximately 3 months worth of your expenses. Now, how do you work out 3 months worth of your expenses? Well, that is pretty simple. Using the default formula before of 60% of your total wage going into your daily expenses account, what you're going to do is you're going to times that 60% of your wage going into your daily expenses account by 4. That'll give you your monthly figure. Once you've got your monthly figure, you times that by 3. Whatever figure that is the amount that you're wanting to save up in your Mojo account.
I'll get me a calculator out.
Now, the reason behind this, again, is touching on the psychological effect that it has on you. If you have 3 months worth of your expenses saved up in an account that you can't really touch, but is there if you need it, you're not going to worry about money, and this can be extremely liberating. You know, a lot of the people that have followed this step on the Barefoot Facebook page can attest to this. So again, extremely powerful, extremely important to do. That's all for this video, guys. I know it was a bit quick, but again, a lot of the segments in this book is got to do with, you know, Scott Pipe's analogies and questions and answers, right? Which is very much Robert Kiyosaki territory. That's why we kind of glazed over a lot of elements in his books. But I do hope that you're able to take something from this video. If you were, please leave a comment down below and check us out in the socials, as we've got stuff going on there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all next week. What the my armor rating on this anyway? Oh, Nord!
I can't reach the internet right now. Check your modem or router connections and try again.
I get what you're doing there.